Right now at 6, the Carl Junction City Council looks to hire an outside law firm to assist in an ethics violation investigation.
And we've got a great Wednesday, at least for the most part, ahead of some increasing thunderstorm chances. A look at that forecast, get you out the door coming up.
Plus, what first responders want you to know if you spot a downed power line in your neighborhood.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It's Wednesday. It's May the 21st. And of course, we had a rough start to the week with severe weather. And unfortunately, we're also at the peak of severe weather season here in the 4 states. And we could see some additional strong to severe thunderstorms late tonight into our Thursday and again into the holiday weekend. But let's start with the morning side of things. A live look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Sunrise is beautiful, and that's the kind of misleading thing about today is 90% of this day is going to be absolutely gorgeous. Clear skies, nice mild temperatures, not bad at all. MoDOT camera 20th and range line looking pretty good too. But again, we do have thunderstorm chances increasing. So again, most of this day, clear skies, a light north breeze, temperatures a bit warmer for us out there. That's really about it. But we get to about 8 o'clock. We start to see scattered showers and thunderstorms building in, and some of these could ultimately be strong, potentially severe, with large hail being the primary concern across parts of the southern half of our area. So here's what we've got. It's a level 2 out of 5 risk. It does stretch in to portions of Lebec County, Cherokee County, extreme southern Crawford County, and we get Ottawa County, parts of Delaware, and Craig counties, and most of southwest Missouri along I-44 and south as well. And again, large hail, so golf ball size hail or larger is the main concern with any storms we see overnight tonight. Could get a few of those lingering into tomorrow. And while we don't have a risk area highlighted, some of the ones early in the morning could still be strong to low grade severe. And then by Friday afternoon, we go back to a level 1 out of 5 risk across the bulk of the area for additional strong to low grade severe thunderstorms heading into Friday afternoon. Temperatures right now, not bad for some of us, 55 in Joplin as well as Pittsburgh. And around the region, the majority of us are in the low to mid 50s, with the exception of Sedan, a little colder out there. It's now sitting at 48, Parsons right behind at 49. So a bit of a chilly start, but otherwise it's not that bad out there, especially considering we're entering late May. All right, kids getting on the bus, and I know the bus stop forecast is going to be coming to a close soon as school begins to come to a close for the summer. I got low 50s, clear skies, and a light and variable breeze out there. And then still clear this afternoon. As I mentioned, much warmer, low 70s with that north breeze around 5 to 10. And our highs eventually upper 70s, maybe a couple of low 80s out there. And clear skies again through the majority of the day. We don't even begin to see cloud cover until shortly before the storms late this evening, and they'll begin rolling in around 8, 9 o'clock tonight. We'll have another look at these storms. We'll break down the timing, how long they last, and talk about Friday's storms in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
Chris, thanks. Well, the Carl Junction City Council discusses limiting their mayor's authority after one council member files an ethics violation complaint. The newly elected mayor of Carl Junction is already finding himself in hot water. Mike Moss took office just last month. Last night, council members discussed a complaint submitted by council member James Shanks alleging Mayor Moss repeatedly refers to female employees as, quote, Steve's harem. Now that's in reference to City Administrator Steve Lover. Now in the complaint, Shanks says the comments were made both before and after Moss was elected.
I can only hope that you guys do not take these comments or the disrespect towards these women and the employees of our city lightly. In doing so, I can only hope that you see that this is not just a one-time thing, but a continuous issue, and that you take the next step in the right direction for the sake of our community.
Now, the council did not take any votes or make any decisions last night. They are, however, in the process of finding a law firm to assist in the ethics investigation. Well, some people have come forward after the Cherokee County Sheriff asked for information regarding a paint war on Rainbow Bridge. Rainbow Bridge is a popular attraction on Route 66 and has recently been restored. The vandalism happened last Friday, and according to the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office, 3 adults and 2 juveniles were spotted throwing paint on each other on video. Now, the sheriff's office says those involved have come forward and there are currently plans to remove the unwanted paint. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, chainsaws and cleanup crews were in action yesterday as communities around the 4 states deal with uprooted trees and downed limbs from Monday's storms. Now, some of the worst damage appears to be in the Columbus, Kansas area. It's more than just damaged trees there. In some cases, fallen trees have damaged home and other property. Cleanup and repairs could take weeks or even months. We spoke with the residents about their experience.
Texted everybody to let them know that the tree was down in front of Mom's house, and we started coming out. But the driveway was blocked, so we had everybody parked on the shoulder, and we all came in and cleared out the driveway for them. But it was pretty scary, actually.
Now, families we spoke to in Columbus said they are very grateful for how the community reached out to help. And for Joplin residents who've experienced broken and downed tree limbs from the storms, the city is once again providing its free limb drop-off site. Residents can bring their tree limbs to the drop-off site at 1702 North Schifferdecker Avenue. The service will run daily through Saturday from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Only tree limbs will be accepted, and the city also wants to remind residents that residential trash service allows yard waste removal on regular trash pickup days. You can find more information on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. The Pittsburgh Fire Department says they responded to reports of down lines after severe storms Monday brought down power lines all across the 4 states. In Crawford County, thousands of people were left without power. First responders say even if they don't look that scary, a down power line can be very dangerous. If you come across one, you shouldn't touch it and should stay at least 25 feet away.
Be very mindful of where utility lines and power lines are, and when you're setting up a ladder or working with a chainsaw or a pole saw, make sure that you're setting up well away from any of the utility lines.
Now, Chief Cherney says if you see a down line, you should report it to Evergy or local authorities. He says never assume someone has already called it in. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News. Google has just announced a detailed vision for the future of searching the web. Plus, the GOP budget bill battle heats up as President Trump rallies support for his agenda. And we have a warm and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Commerce, Oklahoma, ahead of Commerce. Topping Nation Watch this morning, Home Depot says for the most part it won't raise prices from President Donald Trump's tariffs. The home improvement giant is trying to take a different approach than that of Walmart and other retailers that plan to pass trade war related costs onto consumers. A Home Depot executive told analysts on an earnings call that its customers will not see broad price increases. However, he added the tariff effect might raise prices on select items or force other products to be eliminated. More than half of Home Depot's inventory comes from the U.S. Well, it's out with the old and in with the new at Google. Yesterday, the search giant laid out its vision for the future of searching the web. Now, this comes as Google works to compete with chatbots like ChatGPT and other search engines fueled by artificial intelligence. The company said the search engine will no longer just process keywords. Now, they're adding so-called digital agents that can crawl the web and answer questions based on a person's real-world surroundings, tastes, and preferences. Google did not say when the updates would take effect. Well, the Federal Aviation Administration has ordered less planes departing and arriving at Newark Liberty International Airport. The order was issued yesterday after weeks of delays caused by air traffic controller staffing shortages and runway construction. Effective immediately, only 56 planes will be allowed to take off and land each hour while renovations are underway. When construction is not taking place, arrivals and departures will increase to 68 each hour until October 25th. Now, this order comes after a 3-day-long delay reduction meeting held in Washington with airlines, the FAA, and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Well, right now, the House Rules Committee is holding a meeting on the Republicans' budget package dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill by President Trump. Yesterday, the president went to Capitol Hill to rally a splintered House GOP caucus behind the measure, which has major implications for his domestic agenda. Jared Hill has more from New York.
Just after 1 a.m. in Washington, the House Rules Committee gavelled in to consider the Republicans' massive budget package, clearing the committee the final hurdle before heading to the full House for a vote.
We're here to finish the job.
Why are you trying to ram it through in the dead of night?
The late night session, hours after President Donald Trump rallied Republican support for what he calls his big, beautiful bill on Capitol Hill.
I think we're going to get everything we want, and I think we're going to have a great victory.
But party divisions have dogged the measure. The bill would make the president's 2017 tax cuts permanent. It works in his campaign promises of no taxes on tips and overtime. The measure also increases spending on national security while making cuts to Medicaid, food stamps, and clean energy subsidies. Conservative hardliners say it doesn't do enough to slash the federal deficit.
The president, I don't think, convinced enough people that the bill is adequate the way it is.
House Speaker Mike Johnson is confident his caucus will pass it.
We are right on track to deliver.
The president said the bill also includes initial funding toward the construction of his $175 billion Golden Dome defense project.
The Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they are launched from space.
Amid the domestic focus, today President Trump is hosting the leader of South Africa, a week after welcoming a group of white South African refugees to the U.S. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Well, yesterday, the president said he believes his Golden Dome defense system will be completed by the end of his term. And still to come, a new study reveals an urgent child health crisis and funding gap. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Wednesday forecast. Stick around. We'll be right back. Well, a mother and daughter did something pretty rare at the University of Minnesota. Monday, they received their master's degrees at the same time. John Lawrenson shows us how the competitive pair showed support for each other until the end.
To be here today, it was something I never thought that I would be capable of being part of.
Samantha Sapir always thought her parents would be there when she received her MBA degree at the U of M.
Oh, we did it.
It's awesome. But she never envisioned her mom, Shelley, would get the same degree at the same time, at the same school.
It's been so much fun.
It all began with a conversation during a mother-daughter road trip.
Why don't you go back? And I'm like, well, why have you never gone back? And so then it kind of had this conversation of, well, I'll go back if you go back.
So they did, applying for the Carlson School's MBA program and receiving their acceptance letters around the same time. They even took classes together.
We would have students that we both had classes with at different times that would get us confused because, again, obviously, our first names both start with S. We have the same last name. We do somewhat look alike.
And, of course, there was a friendly rivalry when it came to grades.
And, you know, there definitely were classes where we were competing against each other on grades and how did you do on this test? How did you do on the final?
It was fun for Chad Sapir to watch. He's Shelley's husband and Samantha's dad.
They were always competitive to see who had a better grade in the class. I was like, whatever.
But on Monday morning, that friendly competition paid off.
Shelley Sapir.
It's hard to put into words. You know, it's quite an accomplishment.
Getting their degrees together is only part of the story. Shelley and Samantha are a mother-daughter duo far beyond the classroom. The women ran a Boston Marathon together. They crossed the finish line in Boston, and now they've crossed the finish line at the U.
It's truly one of those things that I've been very fortunate to raise a human that I truly love and that we really have a lot of things in common.
She's my mom first, but my best friend, and I'm so grateful that I get to do my life with someone that I just can't get enough time with.
Shelly lives in Omaha and did a good portion of her MBA courses online. Now, the mother-daughter duo already have full-time jobs, now hoping their degrees can advance their careers. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got an absolutely beautiful but somewhat chilly start to the day for us out there. You can see from downtown Pittsburgh. However, as we head into the late evening and overnight hours, we start to see the opportunity for scattered thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe. We're going to break down those threats for you, talk about the thunderstorm timing tonight and the thunderstorms we're expecting Friday into the holiday weekend when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News just after 6:23 now on this Wednesday morning. We're going to start with unfortunately, the severe weather outlook. So here's what we've got. I know yesterday we said we weren't looking at any severe weather. Now we have some. That's actually somewhat of a good thing in the sense that there was nothing yesterday screaming that we were going to be looking at intense thunderstorms heading into tonight. As you recall, with our Monday system, we had a week and a half notice almost that at least severe weather was possible on Monday. That wasn't the case tonight, which is good. It just means that there wasn't anything screaming out there, but we do have this risk. So our tornado risk very low. We have no areas highlighted. Of course, with severe thunderstorms, the risk is never truly zero, but it's very low, which is some great news. Our greatest concern is going to be with hail. We have a level 2 out of 5 risk for parts of southeast Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and into Arkansas. And again, for large hail, golf ball size or larger possible. And then we have a level 1 out of 5 risk outside of that. We also have a level 1 out of 5 for the possibility of some damaging wind gusts out there as well. So what are we looking at? What we're looking at is the first 85-90% of this day is going to be fantastic. We've got a beautiful sunrise this morning. Temperatures are a bit chilly, but we warm up pretty quickly for most of us. And as we go into the afternoon, all of us eventually punching into the upper 70s and maybe even a couple of 80-degree readings out there as well. You can see, though, by 5, still nothing on the future track. It's going to be about 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Clouds begin to increase. Shower and thunderstorm chances begin to increase across the area. Initially, primarily into our northern counties, so a few showers or storms south of that point will also be possible. What we're looking at initially with these storms as well is going to be fast-track supercells. Now, I know you hear supercell, and it's most commonly associated with tornado development. That's not always the case and is not looking to be the case for us tonight. These supercells, again, are going to be primarily capable of the large hail that we've got to watch out for. So here's future track picking up on this one. So as early as 9, it's developing up around, Coffee and Lynn counties before it begins to slide off to the southeast pretty quickly as well. Now it's at the southeast of Joplin, getting into Neosho, Newton County by 11 o'clock. And once we get past that, then we'll start to have a few more scattered showers and storms out there, and these will still all have the possibility to be strong, potentially severe. That lines up and continues into Thursday morning. Now, the strong to severe weather threat will begin to wrap up just before sunrise. At least that's the expectation. But some scattered showers and storms following that will still be possible, but the severe threat again begins to wind down. Maybe an isolated shower or storm south of I-44 by about noon, 1 o'clock. Otherwise, skies begin to clear throughout our Thursday, and then overnight Thursday and the Friday, we are completely clear. We go into Friday, though, clouds begin to increase again, and by the afternoon hours, say about 2, 3 o'clock, we get additional shower and thunderstorm development initially across southeast Kansas. So by 3, it's Yates Center through Chanute, Parsons, and down toward Veneta. And as we roll through Friday evening, again, scattered to start, but overnight, Friday into Saturday, shower and thunderstorm chances, they become more numerous. They begin to increase out there. So right now, we don't have any severe areas highlighted for this upcoming weekend. We do for Friday. It's a level 1 out of 5 risk as we head into the afternoon. No areas, again, highlighted as we head into the weekend, but we are still seeing that possibility at least. We're seeing some signals that we could get some strong, potentially severe thunderstorms for Saturday and Sunday. So again, if you've got plans out there for Memorial Day weekend, if you're heading out, just make sure you've got a backup plan or a safe place to go. Additionally, flooding is a pretty big concern at this point with very heavy rain this weekend. So if you're heading to any of our local waterways, you want to make sure you're paying attention to those potential flood warnings. And if you're told to get out of that campsite or wherever it is you may be, don't hesitate, don't run, don't walk, run. Get out of that area as quickly as you can because you don't want to be caught up in any flooding. All right, again, beautiful sunrise this morning. Great start to the day. Mid-50s by 8, warming up pretty quickly, near 70 by 11 o'clock this morning. Highs today, upper 70s, and again, maybe a couple of 80-degree readings with a north breeze, 5 to 10. Winds out of the east overnight tonight, 5 to 10. Thunderstorm chances again increasing late this evening and overnight. They'll clear out for Thursday, low 70s, mid 70s Friday. Thunderstorms into the holiday weekend, low to mid 80s Saturday and Sunday. And then we're a little cooler Monday and Tuesday next week. And then we start warming up, a few more shower chances next Wednesday and Friday. Let's check your forecast. We're going to toss it over to Lise now for Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a global study on children's health found the key challenges for young people are poor mental health, rising obesity, and exposure to violence. A study by the Murdoch Children's Research Institute also showed while children make up nearly 1/4 of the world's population, they receive only 2% of global health funding, showing more resources are badly needed. Well, a pregnant mother's exposure to air pollution could leave her child with a lifetime of asthma-related issues. A study by the American Thoracic Society found even if a child is never exposed to air pollution, their health can be impacted if their mother was exposed to it during pregnancy. The study also found that there's still a risk even if the pollution is at a level defined as safe by the World Health Organization. And vaping devices are more addictive than nicotine gum. That's the findings of a new study by Nicotine and Tobacco Research. They asked young people to abstain from nicotine for a night, then use either an e-cigarette or nicotine gum. The e-cigarette users felt more satisfaction for their nicotine craving, which can lead to addiction. That's a look at Health Watch. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, schools in Joplin lay down the foundation for future education.
And we've got a beautiful but chilly start to the day ahead of increasing thunderstorm chances. A look at that forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
Plus, area law enforcement team up to take part in a torch run for Special Olympics.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:32. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Wednesday. It is May the 21st. And we've got an absolutely gorgeous day ahead of us for like 90% of the day. And then we see thunderstorm chances return, unfortunately. We are in the peak of severe weather season. We kind of got a taste of that Monday. Thankfully, nothing like that expected tonight, but some stronger storms certainly possible. Let's start, though, with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. There it is. There's the sun. It's shining because the skies are clear. Well, it shines whether the skies are clear or not, but we get to see it because the skies are clear. MoDOT camera, excuse me, 20th and Range Line looking pretty good as well. A lot more folks getting their day started here at 6:32 in the morning. On to the future track we go. And as you can see, the skies are clear. There's nothing on the future track for, again, most of today. It won't be until late this evening that we'll start to see shower and thunderstorm chances begin to increase. So here we are about 8 o'clock. We start to see some of those shower storms building in. And as we go through the late evening hours, that's when we see our threat increase a bit for, again, strong to potentially severe thunderstorms. So for parts of our area, the southern corner here, we've got the level 2 out of 5 risk with a 1 out of 5 kind of surrounding that. The primary concern with any storms we see late this evening into the overnight is going to be the possibility of large hail. It could be golf ball size or larger. That's going to be the main threat we see overnight tonight. Into tomorrow, some thunderstorms. Again, a couple of strong storms possible before sunrise, and then our severe threat begins to wind down. And as we get later into the morning, those thunderstorm chances clear on out. But then they return by Friday afternoon. We have a level 1 out of 5 risk across the bulk of the area for some additional strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms. And that threat continues, unfortunately, into the holiday weekend. 55 in Joplin right now, say at 53 in Pittsburgh. Temperatures around the region, again, not bad. Some of us chilly. Parsons, Sedan, both a little cooler there at 49. The rest of us hanging out into the low to mid 50s as we get this day underway. And as I've mentioned, school's winding down, so by the end of this week, We're going to see the bus stop forecast wind down until next fall. But for this morning, clear skies, low 50s, calm winds, or at least a light and variable breeze. Clear skies continuing into the afternoon. Upper 70s out there with that north breeze around 5 to 10. So not bad, really. It's not going to be bad at all. Clear skies again all the way through the early evening hours. Our highs today, upper 70s, a couple of 80-degree readings, not out of the realm of possibility. And then around 8 or 9 this evening, those showers and storm chances begin to increase. We'll break down the timing on these storms, talk about what we're looking at in detail, and we'll talk about Friday's storms as well here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, Joplin schools kick off the start of multiple expansion projects in elementary schools across the district. Royal Heights Elementary hosted a ceremony for the groundbreaking. Updates and additions to the school will include additions to the kindergarten, library renovations, upgrades to the cafeteria, and classrooms for art and music. The projects were approved by the Board of Education earlier this year.
You know, we had several schools that were rebuilt after the tornado to new standards, and some of our other schools that have been around for quite some time need an upgrade when it comes to the facility standards that we've built on recently.
Groundbreakings for additions and updates at Jefferson and McKinley elementary schools also took place yesterday morning. Well, area police agencies joined forces yesterday in Webb City for a good cause. Officers took part in the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics all across different regions of the state. The torch is moving toward Kirksville, Missouri, where this year's games will be held. The 2025 State Summer Games will be held at Truman State University from May 30th to June 1st in Kirksville.
Most of the people that are running have been doing it several years in a row because, I mean, it's very rewarding just to get out, to be able to show that support and to show that our organization, our city stands behind Special Olympics.
Now, this year's games will feature 4 sports: volleyball, track and field, powerlifting, and swimming. And soon you'll be able to take a trip back in time thanks to your old phone and a tap of your finger. The Fort Scott National Historic Site will pilot the first ever augmented reality experience. Now, through the NPS app, visitors can experience digitally reconstructed historic structures in the national park. The app is available for iPhone and Android. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Officials warn about a new salmonella outbreak linked to cucumbers sold by Bedner growers. Plus, more Americans are planning a trip this summer. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Commerce, Oklahoma, ahead of Commerce Days. In Consumer Watch this morning, many new college graduates looking for work right now are having a difficult time securing a job, but there are things candidates can do to stand out. Jen Sullivan sits down with a career expert to discuss tips on how to get hired.
Graduation is an exciting time for students as many close the chapter on their education and get ready to find their first job out of college.
It's really important for them to treat looking for their next opportunity like a full-time job.
Brandy Britton is a career expert at the recruiting firm Robert Half. She says this can be a challenging time for graduates trying to find a job, and the numbers show that. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York recently released their unemployment data and found nearly 6% of recent college graduates were unemployed. That's about 2 percentage points higher than the national unemployment rate.
Individuals who are willing to go on site for positions, are flexible with what their starting salary is, are being considered for some of the most opportunities.
Robert Half recently conducted a survey about hiring and found 71% of Gen Z respondents said getting noticed and securing an interview is their biggest challenge.
Let everyone know that you are looking for work.
Britton also recommends working with a mentor. Utilize your school's career services, connect with alumni in the field you want to enter, and highlight your experiences in college to show relevant skills. Before an interview, she recommends you should always research the company and ask questions.
Consider contract work. That's a great way for new grads to get additional skills.
Career experts estimate it can take college graduates 3 to 6 months to get hired. So be patient. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The FDA and CDC are investigating a new salmonella outbreak linked to cucumbers sold by Florida-based company Bedner Growers Inc. and distributed by Fresh Start Produce Sales Inc. Now, at least 26 people have been sickened in 15 states. At least 9 people have been hospitalized, and restaurants and stores that sold the affected produce are urged to notify their customers. Tainted cucumbers from the same grower were also linked to hundreds of illnesses last year. Well, more Americans are planning to go on vacation this summer, and many say they'll take work with them, according to a recent survey from Deloitte. 53% of respondents say they expect to travel and stay in paid lodging, up from 48% last year. Nearly a quarter say they'll work during their longest trip. The study found that more Americans, 28% compared to 18% the month before, say they plan to take shorter, more frequent trips instead of splurging on one long vacation. And according to Wallet Hub, 58% of Americans plan to attend a barbecue this Memorial Day weekend, with the average cookout cost coming to just over $31. Kroger is getting in on the holiday weekend, offering a backyard grilling bundle that the company says will cost around $3.50 per person. The bundle includes store brand quarter-pound beef burgers and buns, Bush's baked beans, and Oscar Mayer hot dogs. And that's a look at Consumer Watch this morning. Here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're starting with a quick look outside downtown Pittsburgh. Skies are clear this morning, plentiful sunshine, a bit on the chilly side for some folks out there, but otherwise not a bad start to the day. MoDOT camera 20th and Rangeline in Joplin also looking great, plentiful sunshine there, and of course plentiful traffic as well as we get this Wednesday commute underway. Even though most of our day today is going to be fantastic, we do have increasing shower and thunderstorm chances, and that unfortunately does include the risk of strong, potentially severe storms tonight. We're going to go over those details with you in the full forecast and of course, have birthdays and anniversaries as well when we come back. All right, time for some Wednesday birthdays in the 4 states, starting in Joplin with Sailor K. Castor, celebrating birthday number 1. Says, happy first birthday, sweet girl. We love you and adore you so much. Love, Mom and Dad.
And a happy 6th birthday to Kieran Fox. It says, happy birthday. We all love you.
And heading over to Webb City, where Johnny Rhodes celebrating birthday number 11. And today's a great day to celebrate, just like that photo is. A very happy birthday to you, Johnny.
And a happy 12th birthday to Micah Lowry. Says, love you and have a great summer fishing, Grandma, Grandpa, and Mom.
And in Seneca, Nathan McCool celebrating birthday number 12, and a great shot there, Grand Canyon. Again, a beautiful day to be outside today. Nathan, get out there and enjoy it. Happy birthday.
And in Parsons, happy 17th birthday to Keely Good.
And in Altamont, we have Taylor Mahan celebrating birthday number 22. I believe he's the little fellow there. It says, love you from Mom. A very happy birthday to you, Taylor.
And in Carl Junction, a happy 33rd birthday to Shelby Norfelice. In Carl Junction, it says, happy birthday. Your family loves you.
And heading over to Carthage now for Caleb Morgan, celebrating birthday number 37. Happy birthday.
And in Girard, a happy 54th birthday to Scott Bourne.
And in Columbus, Ryan and Amy Dooley celebrating their 9th anniversary this year. A very happy anniversary to the Dooleys.
And a happy anniversary to Mark and Carla Howerton in Carthage, celebrating anniversary number 14.
All right, another great list of birthdays and anniversaries, a lot more messages. And like I said, we really do enjoy sharing those messages, and we've had some pretty clever ones over the years. And we would like you to celebrate with us, and if you want to, Elise has information you need to know.
Yes, please submit your birthdays and those anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. As Chris mentioned, be sure to include those wonderful messages to meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen, and to also please include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
All right, I've got some more information for you in the weather department. Now, I know yesterday, because you're looking at this map, you're looking at the severe weather risk here, and you're going, what? You said yesterday we weren't looking at severe storms. Yesterday we weren't, really. And that's actually, again, a good thing in a way, and here's why. Monday's severe weather event was showing up on data a week and a half ahead of it actually happening. Now, the specifics weren't there, but data a week and a half early was saying you need to watch this day. And it came to be. That was not the case for tonight. We didn't have anything a week out or anything like that suggesting severe weather. So that's a good thing. But there have been some short-term changes, which has resulted in the addition of some severe weather threats out there. So let's break down what we do have. Tornado risk, very low. No areas highlighted. That's fantastic news. With severe thunderstorms, again, the tornado threat is never truly zero, but it can be very low, and that's exactly where we're sitting, and that's where we want this to stay. Our greatest concern is with hail. We have a level 2 out of 5 risk for parts of the area, so parts of southeast Kansas, Oklahoma, the southern portions of southwest Missouri in our area, and back into Benton County. We're looking at the potential for large hail, golf ball size, potentially larger. That's what we've really got to watch. We do have a level 1 out of 5 risk for some damaging wind gusts across parts of the area as well. So let's break down those thunderstorms and what we're expecting. Today is a day of deception in a way. What I mean is 90% of this day, it's absolutely beautiful. Clear skies, a light north breeze, so a little cool breeze, and our temperatures, they'll be warmer, but with that north wind, it's going to feel great. We're going into the upper 70s, maybe even a couple of 80-degree readings. And even as late as 5, 6, 7 o'clock this evening, we stay clear. These thunderstorms are going to develop fairly quickly, so we won't really have any cloud cover or anything in advance of them. We'll start to see the clouds as they begin to develop. So here's where we get a little bit rocky. By about 8, 9 o'clock, scattered showers, thunderstorms begin developing. Initially, don't look too impressive, but it does not take them long to start to intensify. This storm here, that's developing, at least on Future Track, right around the Burlington area, it eventually becomes what Future Track suspects as a supercell. That's the thing, is we're looking initially at fast-track supercells. Supercell, I know, is typically associated with tornado. You hear that phrase, you immediately think tornado. That's not always the case. But these supercells are going to have just enough to them that they could produce the large hail. That's where our concern comes from. So this one tracks southeast. It's in the Missouri, south of I-44 and near the Neosho area by about 11 o'clock tonight. Again, we may not get this cell right here in this spot, but this is to give you an idea. After that, we see additional scattered showers and thunderstorms, and these will continue with that risk to be strong to potentially severe through about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Now, once we get closer to sunrise and a little beyond, some isolated shower storms still lingering, but the severe threat drops off significantly for us. And then as we roll into Thursday afternoon, we clear out, things look fantastic. We spend Thursday night into Friday morning looking great. Clouds begin to increase Friday morning, and as we roll into the afternoon hours, say about 2, 3 o'clock, we see additional showers and thunderstorms, and some of these could be strong to low-grade severe. Now, initially, they're fairly widely scattered, but as we go later into the evening and overnight, they will become a bit more numerous, and unfortunately, these thunderstorm chances continue into the holiday weekend, and we do have at least some signals for strong, possibly severe thunderstorms as we roll into Saturday and Sunday. So if you got Memorial Day plans, just make sure you're paying attention. So there's our level 2 out of 5 risk today. Just some general thunderstorms first half of our day tomorrow. And for Friday, we've got a level 1 out of 5 risk for most of the area for those storms rolling into the afternoon. We're going to have another look at your forecast and, of course, the news you need to know here in just a moment. And when we transition to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., or, of course, if you hang out with us here streaming on KOAM+, we're going to learn a few tips on how to protect your pets from the summer heat.
Well, here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you and out the door. Carl Junction City Council discusses limiting their mayor's authority after one council member files an ethics violation complaint. Last night, council members discussed a complaint submitted by council member James Shanks, alleging Mayor Moss repeatedly refers to female employees as, quote, Steve's Heron. Now, the council has not voted on the matter, but they are, however, in the process of finding out a law firm to assist in the ethics investigation. And the Pittsburgh Fire Department says they responded to reports of downed lines from Monday's severe storms. First responders say even if they don't look that scary, a downed power line can be very dangerous. Now, if you come across one, you shouldn't touch it and should stay at least 25 feet away. If you see a downed line, you should report it. And the city of Joplin is once again providing its free limb drop-off site. Residents can bring their tree limbs to the drop-off site at 1702 North Schifferdecker Avenue. The service will run daily through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The city also wants to remind residents that residential trash service allows yard waste removal on regular trash pickup days. And that's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And as you head out the door, a bit chilly for some of us out there. We're warming up though, upper 70s, maybe a couple of 80-degree readings. Clear skies, north breeze 5 to 10. Clouds begin increasing this evening, as do thunderstorm chances. And as we go overnight, some of those storms could be strong to severe, with large hail being the primary concern. We're back in low 50s. A couple of strong storms early tomorrow. They'll start clearing out by late morning, low 70s. And then more thunderstorms as we head into Friday afternoon into the holiday weekend, unfortunately. And some of those could be strong to severe. We also have flooding concerns through the weekend as well. So again, if you've got Memorial Day plans, you're heading out this weekend, just make sure you've got a way to stay weather aware. Get that KOAM Skywatch weather app.
Absolutely. And coming up today at noon, we're making garbage pasta salad in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. This morning, Delia Lister from the Nature Reach joins us in the studio to share how summer camps can help connect kids with nature.
Plus, Adavan Rolling, starts joining us in the studio for another Wildcat Wednesday. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We'll be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.